The next bill that I'm introducing, well, I have not introduced it yet. It's being advertised now, and it deals with the Macon County, the Macon County Commission Chair. And what we're proposing, I started meeting probably last year with the county commissioners, and we started talking about what we could do. And again, the main emphasis was on economic development, because as we looked at the situation and trying to find a way to put something in place to go along with the economic developer, we played around with the idea of changing the chairmanship in Macon County. We talked about rotating the chairmanships. We talked about using the probate judge as the chairman. And we finally got around to the point, after doing the research that I've done, and we started looking at where we are in Macon County with our structure. We knew then that we need to do something a little bit different. So what I'm proposing in this bill is that we have a part-time chairman and a full-time county chief administrator / manager to stay on top of the day-to-day work with various processes that we need to go. And the reason that we're doing this is because, you know, politics has its place. And when you're sitting in a situation, in a crisis like the one that we're sitting here in Macon County, and you're relying on a political elected person to do the business, they're not going to do too much that's going to offend that people not voting for them. This manager doesn't even need to have to be contingent upon somebody electing them. This needs to be a person that can work full-time, report to the commission, and give everything that's out now.
If you are ready, I'll make a motion that this piece of legislation be placed on the ballot during the presidential election in November, so that it will not cost the people a dime to vote on it. And then the people can decide whether or not they want it or not.
You mentioned precedents, and I'm not so sure that precedents represent progression and the best way of doing things. Let me ask you, before you propose this bill, did you go to the minds of the people and pull together a collective representative group of people to discuss what you had in your mind in order to develop a bill to consider being proposed?
Well, what I did was I talked with the county commissioners, and at the monthly meeting that we had with the WIN group, I discussed with them what we were trying to do and where we're trying to move this county. And that's the group, I'll tell you, that has a very diverse group of people in it.
Having been in Macon County for the last pretty close to 40 years now, and I've had the opportunity to observe the county commission structure and how it functions under a number of different scenarios, where the county commission chairman was selected by the commissioners, where the county commission chairman was elected part-time. And that reminds me, what we're talking about doing here now, we in the digital age with CD, it's like going back to 8 tracks. We don't want to go back. We want to give Macon County every opportunity to grow and develop like others. And it is my honest opinion, after having served in this position for the last almost 12 years now, that a part-time chairman is not the best for Macon County. The representative mentioned that we have discussed. I've been in on 2 discussions with the representative in regards to this change. And each time I registered very strongly my concern and requested that this not be done.
I personally think the structure is fine. I think the problem is the lack of performance with the commissioners. The commissioners have something to do with the health authority. the commissioners have something to do with accountability. I don't think we can solve the problem by hiring by hiring a chief administrative officer. I do agree with you with an economic development officer. For that reason alone, I agree with Ms. Upshaw. You can do it like you want, but I think we need to just cancel this deal.
I made a serious mistake. I withdraw my motion.
The last meeting that we had with the representatives, we in the commission, all of us, when we left that meeting, we had discussed a number of different ways to do it. We left the meeting thinking that it might be a rotation. The decision had not been made, as I understand it. And that later, the Pebblin understood that she was proposing a part-time chair. So I just want you to know the commission, even with all the discussions, did not have the final input, to what's being proposed right now. It's just an open discussion as it is here tonight. Thank you.
One, I think the legislation is flawed from the start as it proposed. You're proposing the same salary for the chairman. The chairman has to run countywide. It is more expensive to run countywide as opposed to the district. So that tells me that really not enough dialogue has been put into that. So, Madam Representative, I would hope that you would reconsider this and give the people a chance. If the people that's in elected office, in your opinion, are not doing what you think that should be done, then the people is getting ready to vote in real soon. Then the people will make that decision. So I suggest that we let the system work, and if we want to consider change, then let's have some dialogue and debate and go to a smooth transition.
And I want to thank you for your comments as it relates to this piece of legislation.